Jackson State got the win over Mississippi Valley 21-6. But more so than just the win that they got in that game, they actually found their quarterback of the future. I'm going to talk about it, what it means, and why I believe that they made the right decision going with JaCobian Morgan over Jason Brown moving forward. Let's talk about it after the bumper. Stay tuned. What is going on, everybody? What is going on, everybody? My name is Jeff Lighty Jr. This is the Victor Formation Sports Show right here on Jeff Lighty Jr. YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, and notification bell because we upload all the time. Now, Jackson State had been struggling. This is the most resistance they've had in a season in a few years. And so people are taking the shots. I mean, people across the country are taking the shots for whatever reason. They're weirdos. But I get it. Like, if you're a SWAC opponent, if you're a SWAC fan, if you root for another school, whether that's FAMU, I see a lot of the FAMU shots, Southern, even though they beat you, Southern or whoever, taking the shots at JSU, trying to kick them while they're down. And it makes for good banter for social media. Now there's Colorado fans that are doing that, and that's just weird. Like, let's call it what it is. That's super weird for you to be rooting against Jackson State. But nonetheless, the Tigers got a win in their latest game against Mississippi Valley. And in that game, they debuted, well, they ain't really debuted, but they gave the first start of his Jackson State career, the first of many, I believe. JaCobian Morgan, the Mississippi native, the Syracuse transfer, got in there, led the offense, and got the W 21-6. Now, if we just look at JaCobian's numbers just from a pure numbers perspective, they weren't crazy, right? Like they weren't just astronomical. They weren't the most impressive numbers you've ever seen. Let me go ahead and share my screen and show that to you. They're just not they weren't that, but they don't have to be that. 20 of 36, 141 through the air, one touchdown pass. But if you look at the rushing numbers, 10 carries, 75 yards, including a 32-yard touchdown run where he just completely ran through a person. And that is what matters. You got to think. Right now, Irv Mulligan is out. Irv Mulligan, I think, is the best running back in the SWAC. He's proven to be one of, if not the best running backs in the SWAC. And with him out right now for however long, he might be back next week or whatever, but for right now, he's out. You need to have an added dimension of running ability from the quarterback position that Jason Brown just couldn't give you. And insert JaCobian Morgan, 6'5", 240, 245 pounds, just a monster of a man coming in that can throw the ball. Let's not get it twisted. The man can throw the ball. He did go to Syracuse. He did go Power 5 ACC. Like, the man can play. And now you add his running ability. See, with Jackson State, the problem was the quarterback posed no threat to run the ball. Now, you can be an effective quarterback and not run the ball. Like, that is possible. It's not like it's impossible. But in the new day and age of football, having the dynamic of your quarterback being able to use his legs, being able to bail you out of situations, being able to be mobile. He doesn't have to be a quote unquote scrambler, but being mobile. Having that added dimension to your offense, having that added aspect to your offense, having that added thing that defenses have to game plan on your offense makes your offense that much more dynamic. Let me repeat. It makes your offense that much more dynamic. And here's the thing about the JSU coaching staff. This is what I believe. This is not me talking to anybody. This is what I believe. I believe they thought coming into the season, Jason Brown gave them the best chance to win. I believe they thought that for real. Like, I all honestly believe that. JaCobian Morgan was a late addition to this roster. He came in at the end of summer from Syracuse. So he was a late addition. So Jason Brown, who was there all spring, Jason Brown, who was a quarterback commit, been with this coaching staff all spring and all summer, was getting to know the receivers, getting to know everybody, getting to know the foundation. He had a better grasp of the offense. And this is a dude that's playing in the 6th, 7th year of college football. He had a better grasp of the offense. But I think that the talent of JaCobian Morgan was undeniable. I think the talent of JaCobian Morgan was undeniable, and it just took up until this point to get him caught up to the offense. It took him until this point to get familiar with the offense and get comfortable enough to start him in the game. And you add the fact that Irv Mulligan is now out for now, or was out, especially during this game. You needed to have extra juice in the run game outside of just the running backs. Insert JaCobian Morgan, insert that extra juice, those 75 yards and a rushing touchdown, and you get a 21-6 win. Now, there are places for him to improve. 20 completions isn't bad. 141 yards on 20 completions isn't great. Let's just call it what it is. It just isn't great. And it's not for the lack of arm strength. His mechanics are a little weird. For him to be so tall, he delivers the ball from right here. Like, let me make sure you guys can see it. He delivers the ball. He doesn't really have an overarching throw. He kind of delivers with a flick of the wrist from right here. He's super tall, so it's already kind of high. You would love to see him extend his arm a little more when he throws the ball. But I think his timing with the receivers comes just from having more time with the first team. I think his timing and his rhythm and his passing yardage and his passing ability will become greater just with more time. They're also incorporating other receivers. Mr. Jones Fortaline caught a touchdown. 6'5" sophomore out of Orlando. That's a big time weapon to add to your repertoire to go with the big time 6'5" quarterback. That's huge. To debut that against Valley, that was good stuff. That was something a lot of us didn't expect to see. I didn't expect to see it. And then another thing, what Jackson State understands is that their defense is okay. Like, their defense is pretty good. This defense had 8 sacks. This defense, John Huggins alone had 2 interceptions. This defense can play. Your best chance to win with this defense, if you can run the ball, make some explosive plays, but most importantly, is not turn the ball over. Let me repeat, not turn the ball over. That is an issue Jackson State has been having this season. They had a few fumbles in this game. I think they lost one, but they fumbled it 2 or 3 times. The game before, they lost 3 fumbles. They have to hold on to the freaking ball. It's going to be hard. Like, this game with Valley was so much more tougher than it probably should have been if you just hold on to the ball. This game with Valley could have been a bigger blowout if you just don't turn the ball over. The same with Bama State. You have a chance. You probably have a way better chance of winning the game if you don't turn the ball over. And I think adding JaCobian Morgan is their version of trying to not turn the ball over. Why? Because you're going to run the ball even more with that type of athlete at quarterback. They're still going to try to hit their explosive plays to Seven McGee, to Fabian McCray, to Duke Miller, to these different guys. But they're also, especially when Irv Mulligan comes back, they're also going to churn this thing out with the run game and a big, strong, physical quarterback that they'll try to run like Cam Newton at times. I mean, if you've seen the run, I would show it, but ESPN gonna give me a copyright strike. I don't want no smoke ESPN. I don't want no smoke ESPN. But if you've seen that run, Mr. JaCobian Morgan had against Mississippi Valley, when the young man, bless his heart, that young man has a family. When the young man tried to make a tackle, him open space one-on-one, you and a 6'5", 245-pound quarterback. You can imagine how that went. Just imagine somebody getting run over and the young man keeps running. Somebody getting run over and their helmet comes off and the young man keeps running. That, you just can't get that from Jason Brown. That's no disrespect to Jason Brown, but you can't get that from him. You can't. He's not that type of athlete. And the beautiful thing about JaCobian, let me repeat, the beautiful thing about JaCobian, let me make sure I'm not lying to you guys. Let me make sure I'm not lying to you guys. Let me make sure I'm not lying to you guys. You're going to have this again next year. And I think that's why the move was made now. Because I want him to get live reps right now. He gives us the best chance to win right now and for the future. JaCobian is listed as a redshirt junior. We all know if you're a redshirt junior, that means you played 2020, 2021, 2022, and this is your 4th season in 2023. But we know what happened in 2020. Everybody got a free year. And so JaCobian technically has 2 years of eligibility left after this season. You get him the live game reps now. The same live game reps he got at Syracuse. You teach him your system now. And so, therefore, by next season, he can come in as one of the better quarterbacks in the SWAC. Maybe by the end of this season, he can prove himself as one of the better quarterbacks in the SWAC. You continue to recruit at the level that you've been able to recruit at, right? With the transfer portal and high school recruits, because your high school recruits are studs, by the way. Ahmad Miller, Isaiah Spencer, those guys can play. You've hit the transfer portal amazingly with players bringing guys back like John Huggins, who transferred out, bringing in guys like JaCobian Morgans, the Seven McGee's, et cetera, et cetera. Use those Mississippi JUCO foundations that you have right there in Mississippi. The greatest JUCO system in the country is right there in Mississippi, from East Mississippi to Holmes, etc. You can be setting yourself up for the future. It's been shaky, rocky, rough, year one, or whatever you want to call it for Coach TC Taylor. I get it. It hasn't been what some people believed it would be, myself included. I thought they wouldn't lose to Alabama State. I didn't think they'd lose to Alabama State. You know, I didn't think, I mean, the FAMU, I did predict them to lose to FAMU, but that was pretty much it. I didn't think they'd lose to Alabama State. I didn't think they'd have kind of like a dog fight with Mississippi Valley. But to prevent those type of things and to get back into your winning ways, which you did this Saturday, I think JaCobian Morgan is the way to go. And I think what you're going to see, this JaCobian Morgan experience the rest of the year, is setting an amazing, amazing, amazing foundation for 2023, the rest of the year, and for 2024 to get back in the thick of things when it comes to competing for a SWAC championship and ultimately a Celebration Bowl title. But I loved everything. I loved what I seen out of JaCobian Morgan. I do want to see those mechanics. I do want to see that ball kind of come more over the top as opposed to right here, the flick of the wrist. But the young man is talented. Can't act like the talent isn't there. You get better chemistry with these wide receivers. You're able to open it up down the field more. And his running ability, just his pure running ability, sky's the limit for JaCobian Morgan as a Jackson State Tiger, playing back in this city, his hometown, his home state of Mississippi. And that's another, let me just touch on that for a second. You know, I am a big proponent of young men who are from a state, who's from a place, going to play for that state, and the pride that they take playing in front of their friends and family and fans. The pride that it goes into being from Mississippi, playing for Jackson State, whether it's at Jackson State. This game was in Itta all the JSU fans that traveled to Itta to see their team play. JaCobian Morgan's dad was in the building, and I don't think he thought that he would be there in a moment that was caught on tape by my guy Austin and Ken Clark. Shout out to Austin and Ken Clark. That was that type of stuff you can't pay for, man. That type of stuff is the movie script, the dope things that happen in sports that are just amazing. So shout out to JaCobian Morgan and his family for having that moment together after getting his first win as a starter, as the start QB1 of Jackson State. But JaCobian Morgan, it's a name for SWAC people to keep an eye out on. He is someone that one of my buddies from Jackson State has been telling me he thought he's going to be starter from day one, but nonetheless, he's the starter now. And this could be a good run that he has there at JSU. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. JaCobian Morgan leads JSU to a 21-6 victory over Mississippi Valley State. My name is Jeff Lightsey Jr. This is the Victor Formation Sports Show right here on Jeff Lightsey Jr. YouTube, Facebook, wherever you get your content. Do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe. Also, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at JLightsey7. That is on Instagram and Twitter at JLightsey7. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.